Hey everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars. Now I am here at Porsche Mechanicsburg on the Carlisle Pike in Mechanicsburg, PA, and we're taking a look at something that I don't see very often. I've never really had the chance to poke around a Ferrari, much less a mid-engine V8 Ferrari, which is what I love. This is a 2017 Ferrari 488 GTB. Let's talk about numbers real quick, okay? This is a 3.9 liter twin turbo V8, which was a little bit controversial for the time. 660 horsepower, 560 foot-pounds of torque. This will go 0 to 60 in about 2.7. And sadly, I'm not going to get to drive it today, but I will not give up an opportunity to poke around and start it up. So this has an aftermarket Soul exhaust that sounds absolutely insane. So this car was the successor to one of the best modern Ferraris, the 458, which was the last naturally aspirated V8 Ferrari. This started the whole era of twin turbocharging all their mid-engine cars, to keep up with the times. Whoa, there's a Hummer. Look, nice. Anyway, this thing is insane just about in every way. It sounds fantastic, and this is a Spider. I'm gonna put the top down. So I'm gonna poke around and go over everything I can, enjoy my time with this. So let's take a look at the 488 Spider. Now, when you compare this 488 to other cars in the class, this would compete with like a McLaren 720, a Lamborghini Huracan, definitely a Porsche 911 Turbo S, which you can get here at Porsche Mechanicsburg. But these cars are going for something like, when they were new, and this is a 17, this is probably 275, but this car is going now for about 325, which is pretty insane. But it goes without saying, you get the Italian passion and the soul and the, all the heritage that comes with Ferrari with the F1 championships and everything. So let's talk about the styling. Now, when you talk about the design of this Ferrari, this is one of the first ones to not be designed by the famous Italian house, the Pininfarina. This was designed completely in-house with Ferrari, and it is just low and wide and gorgeous. Now, when I pop the trunk, there's a little plaque in there that tells you all the options, but you have to get these Scuderia shields. That is just an absolute must-have. I think the newer cars have them painted on, but the other thing is this air scoop that just comes down the side of the car to get the air in there. That is something that is, very specific to this car, this sort of side scoop going in. Now, this does have the brakes from the LaFerrari. These are carbon ceramics. They are absolutely huge. I mean, this has the P0 tires, which are some of the best, but just look at the stance of this thing. It just looks fantastic. This shot right there with the shields to go along with the overall profile of this thing is crazy. Now, I guess when this came out, people were sort of like, when you think about the 458, which is such a legendary, naturally aspirated car, this has similar headlights, and this sort of intakes in the front, sort of reminiscent of like the F1 car. Now, the other thing, we're gonna pop the top. This goes completely back. It doesn't go up and back. It completely folds back like that to be stowed in there. So going around back. Apparently every truck in Mechanicsburg is driving by me right now. But yeah, just look at this. There's your sort of F1 inspired sort of rain light. That's like your rear fog light. But this just looks fantastic. I love the look of these single taillights in the back. The current, mid-engine V8, the F8 Tributo, has the two lights in the back, and I sort of like the cleaner look of the single taillights in the back, but it's just a completely contained thing. There's your brake light right there, the turn signal, and the reverse light I think is down there, but I'm not sure if it's right there too, but this just looks fantastic. Now, another design element is that the air goes through under there and pops out the back of the car right here. This is sort of a thing of the 488 Pista sort of did this more extreme, but there's the prancing horse right there, just a thing of beauty. But that sort of helps with the aerodynamics going through right there. Now, this is the engine cover. We're gonna pop that up in a second, but just look at this thing. It's pretty gorgeous. Like, I can't say I've been around too many of these, but it just looks fantastic. It is low and wide, and I love it. So let's start it up and take a listen to that aftermarket exhaust. All right, so just open the front here. Now, just take a look at this. My buddy Jake and I were just saying it's not every day you get to hold a Ferrari key. Now, if you click this button here, this opens up the front, just so I don't scratch it. Now, obviously, since the engine is in the rear, now the one reason I want to open this because lots of Ferraris have a plaque here that tells you all the options that you get. So let's see, we have aluminum brake calipers, carbon fiber steering wheel, and LEDs. I think that's like an $8,000 option right there. Carbon fiber steering wheel, the LEDs. I can't even imagine the lights when you're ripping on it. So this has the parking camera, front and rear parking sensors, 20-inch forged rims, carbon fiber central bridge. I mean, these carbon fiber options are just insane. Now there is the handle right there if you ever get stuck inside. Now this is the trickle charger there. There's a car cover. Nice Ferrari little pieces of luggage there, but that is the front storage of the 488. I guess, I mean, that's decently big. I feel like you could put some groceries in there if you wanted to take it out to get some stuff. All right, now let's take a look at the engine. All right, let's check out the engine. Okay, that has some nice struts, and look at that. Just look how low that is placed in the car. Now this is a 3.9 liter twin turbo V8, 660 horsepower. Now, if you think about that number, that is what the Ferrari Enzo, the Halo top of the line supercar was, 10, 15 years before this. But now in the mid-engine V8 application, it is 660 horsepower. I don't know if you can see the turbos, but that is definitely a thing of beauty. I love how Ferrari does the all red sort of engine blocks. That's sort of common on a lot of them. There's your oil right there, Ferrari branded. I mean, being a Spider, you just have this little window to get open. But yeah, can't even imagine. When I just revved it, I only went to about 3,000 and it sounded like that. I can't even imagine this thing at full throttle. Now, 0 to 60 about 2.7 seconds, which is, you're approaching like Bugatti Veyron territory. I mean, that's just stupid speed. All right, let's take a look at the interior. All right, we're going on the inside of the 488, but first, I mean, this is sort of a unique looking door handle. I guess it's just to go in with the airflow right there. Now, I said on the options list, this has quite a lot of options as I sit on the ground here. Now, this has Ferrari's 7-speed dual clutch automatic. These paddle shifters feel so nice. Now, when I did my research about this car, they say this car is very, very driver focused. I mean, everything is on the steering wheel. Your turn signals, your headlights, your suspension, your start button. There's your Manatino right there to go through all your drive modes. Wet, sport, race, CT off, stability control off. Then you can really have some tail whipping fun. But just look at the detail of everything on this steering wheel. There's your wipers. I mean, everything is there. There are no stalks behind it, because you just want to be focused on driving this thing. Now, this interior color is called Bordeaux red, and I like the nice touch they do the central tachometer in that red as well. Now, there are no infotainment screens in the middle right here. That screen on the right is sort of where you go through all your stuff. Okay, so this central bridge here is done in carbon fiber. That is insanely expensive. Now, this does have these shift lights up here. That is like an $8,000 option. The steering wheel is carbon fiber. It just looks fantastic. Now, I don't think some of the cars have like a display right there where you can look at, it'll show you like the revs, what driver mode you're in. But just the vents here are driver focused. Everything is nice. Now, over here, this actually has a pit speed monitor. So if you're on a track, you could sort of monitor your pit speeds. This does have the JBL audio. I mean, but just look at this prancing horse, the Cavallino right there. It just is something pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna start it up and put the top down. So we're gonna start this up and put the top down, and the engine start button is on the steering wheel right here. So here we go. All right, now the roof button is right here. Gonna put the windows down. It's gonna go up. Now just watch this thing fold back. It looks so good. Now let's just take a look at how this thing sounds at idle, and just look how it looks with the top down. I love just the Spider aspect of it. That give you all season driving, but just listen to this. That is a thing of beauty. Now, just to feel what it's like to go through everything. I mean, the air is blowing so nicely. Now, you have we are in wet setting. Now, if you change this button to sport, you can go there. Now, this is where you have all your stuff for navigation and your music. But just that centrally located tack is just a thing of beauty. All right, so let's just take one more walk around this bad boy. I think the color with the Grigio Silverstone to go with the Bordeaux leather, I think is a nice color combo. I think you want to go for a little bit more of a louder color with these, and not necessarily the resale red, but my buddy and I were saying this would look fantastic in yellow. I think they call it Giallo Modena. But just with the top down, this thing looks particularly fantastic. I will say that if I ever had the means to buy something like this, I would jump on it. This person traded this in on a 911 Turbo S, which sort of makes sense. I mean, you can get a lot of money out of this thing. Big thank you to Porsche Mechanicsburg for letting me take a look at this bad boy. I'm not going to get to drive it, which is okay. I completely get it. But go check out Porsche Mechanicsburg. I will put their link down below. So let's wrap this up. All right, so this is going to wrap up my time here with the 2017 Ferrari 488. I will always be a fan of mid-engine V8 Ferraris, and this is a beautiful example of that. Big thank you to Porsche Mechanicsburg for letting me poke around this thing. Thanks to Nick and everybody that works here. Now I got to get my beauty shots, and then we're going to sadly give the keys back. So if you like videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at GemmyD on Cars. I will see you on the next one.